Welcome back to the channel. I have spent my entire week with this 2025 Toyota 4Runner TRD Sport. This is the 6th generation of the Toyota 4Runner, and it's now based off of the Tacoma platform. A very good platform to start on. This SUV gets a lot of things right. I really like the rugged design, I like its capabilities, and I like its features as well. The only thing is that the price point is quite high, and in some areas of this vehicle, I feel like it's a tough pill to swallow. We're going to get into everything I like, everything I dislike. I'm going to show you exterior, interior, and of course a POV drive. Let's get started. Under the hood for our 4Runner TRD Sport is the 2.4 liter turbo I-Force engine producing 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. So you no longer get that V6 engine. There is, though, a hybrid powertrain available. This is not that trim, but you can spend a little bit more money, spec the hybrid trim, get the EV power, and it'll bring it up to just over 300 horsepower, and you'll also get a little bit more torque. The model that I've tested this week has an 8-speed automatic transmission with part-time 4-wheel drive, and it can tow up to 6,000 pounds. So next, let's talk about the price. The as-tested price for this 4Runner TRD Sport is $61,070 Canadian. So in the US, it's probably in the $53,000 range. That's still quite a bit of money to ask anybody to pay. So what I want to see is, does it have enough features to justify that price point? Well, I'll start with the exterior, and then of course we're going to go through the interior. I'll show you what I feel like it should have and what it shouldn't, and you can let me know what you think. All right, so like I said, first let's start off with the exterior. So we've kept the rugged design. It looks big. It looks like it's capable of handling any type of weather or terrain, and I love that. I just love a rugged looking vehicle, especially a rugged SUV. Toyota has done a great job. So with the front end, you do have a little bit of black, but I like how the paint continues through here in the front. I like the daytime running LEDs. They look very nice. It looks like a truck-like SUV, and it makes sense. It's based off of the Tacoma platform, so I do enjoy that. I like kind of the hexagon grille they've got going on here, classic Toyota badge, and you can see that I don't have the fully equipped one because this is where the camera is supposed to be, and I'm sure there's supposed to be a bunch of other sensors in there, but of course I don't have that. We do have really nice fog lights though. Those look really nice, and we do have this really nice hood scoop. It looks crazy. On like the fully off-road version, you can get like another hood scoop on the side there for additional off-roading air intake, but we don't have that. And I like the front bumper here too, how it continues low. You can see there's 2 tow hooks down there as well. Overall, it just looks really good front end wise. When you go onto the side profile, you kind of get a good idea of just how big it is. I've seen some comments say that like the tires are too small for this trim. Honestly, I don't find that. I think it's actually a really good size. It makes it look a little bit more lifted, which is something that I tend to enjoy. You do have quite a bit of space between the wheel and the fender, but look, I love these fender flares. You can really see them here on the side. And I love that the wheels, the hubcap, or the wheel cap, not the hubcap, my goodness, this is not hubcap. I like how they say TRD. Looks very cool. You got a step that's not movable, but it's perfect for helping me get in. Makes things very easy. You got the roof rails up there as well. This thing is just meant to do whatever you want to do with it, really. It's just meant to handle everything. The TRD Sport logo, I like that as well. Standard little gas cap right there, no problem. Coming onto the back here, it is a really cool thing to look at. So nice tail lights. I don't mind them at all. They look really good. I think maybe they're on the small side, but actually they fit really well with the body. Makes the overall rear look quite big. I like the big 4Runner badge here. You've got like a nice little handle, I guess, here for the rear, and then of course the rear window does come up and down. It won't do it because the vehicle's on. You're gonna have to do that from the inside, but that's fine. I'll include a little shot of it happening. It's really cool. I love that feature. I actually use it when I want to put my bag in here and stuff. I just roll down this window because I don't have an automatic tailgate. That's one of the problems here. So far the interior is fine, or the exterior is fine, but the it's just this, like, so it's quite a heavy tailgate, right? It comes up no problem. It kind of does the work for you once you pop it, right? Which is no problem. And then on the inside, there's a ton of space. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't have the optional third row, where you can option a third row in the higher trims. We don't have that, so in this space, we just have trunk space and like little storage compartments here that would have been for a third row person if you needed it, but now you've just got straight up trunk space. I've got a 120 volt outlet, but I can fit everything back here. My daughter's stroller, everything. And it's got like this nice cargo net here as well, which I enjoy. But yeah, the thing is look, now I'm gonna go to close it, and it's like, it's kind of heavy, and to do it with like a kid in my hand and stuff, it's like, it's a big trunk to have to close. I mean, it is. So to ask me to pay a lot of money and not have little things like that kind of hurts. You can call me spoiled, whatever you want. I just would have liked to see on this trim specifically an automatic tailgate. If it's the base model, I don't have a leg to stand on. It's the base model and it's cheap, but it's not. It's the fully loaded version, or not the fully loaded version. It's a one up. So it needs to have things that one up a base model, and especially for 60 grand, we need that. So let's continue on to the interior. There's a few things that we need to go over in there, and then POV Drive right after that. All right, so next up, we are taking a look at the back seat for the Toyota 4Runner TRD Sport. So we have a lot of like Toyota plastics. I like to call it Toyota plastics because they kind of do it in a way that's like acceptable, or like it doesn't bother me. I also like this blue trim right here. I like that we have a cup holder right here, as well as a little bit of storage and this little handle. Not bad. And the reason why I say I don't mind this black plastic here is because it's gonna get dirty. I mean, if you're gonna do a lot of off-roading, camping, whatever you're gonna do in this thing, you don't really care about leathers or stuff that's hard to clean. This is gonna be easy to clean. Next, we move over to the seats. You can see I like the two-tone. This is an all-cloth seat. I believe if you get the premium package, you can get leatherette, or like the fake leather, but the cloth seats are plenty comfortable, and I like the two-tone. I really like the two-tone. It really does give it a little bit more of a premium look back here. So let's actually hop back in. So on the inside, you can see I am sitting behind myself, 5'11", driver profile. I've got enough room for my feet and enough room for my legs. So this is perfect right here. I've also got some vents back here, as well as a 120 volt outlet and 2 USB-C ports. Very nice. I've got cup holders right here as well. So you got the ones in the doors and the ones in the cup holders. For those that are curious, baby seat fits easily, no problem. Doesn't really compromise the front passenger space. There's a decent amount of room in here for, you know, a smaller family, and then a ton of room in the trunk like you would have already seen. So it's really good. I've got a nice view of that sunroof as well. Hard to complain about it. Easy to clean materials back here. I don't feel like, I feel like if this is an area that you're gonna put your kids and stuff, this is gonna be easy to clean, and that's very important. But let's hop up front. All right, so this is gonna be recording for my video front seat. Let's go. So next up is the business end, the front end for the TRD Pro, or TRD Sport. Let's do that again. All right, so next up is the front seat, the business end for the TRD Sport 4Runner. Again, you can see we got the blue trim, but I like the fact that it says TRD. I've got a ton of storage space here, a little bit of storage space right here. Again, we have that, like I said, the Toyota plastic. Don't hate it, very nice. There's a little nice little soft cushion right here. Standard window controls, no problem, and the door controls as well. The only problem I have is that this is like a $60,000 vehicle, all in pretty much, with the fees and stuff. And we have manual seat operation, even for the driver. I mean, sometimes you see it with just the driver and not the just the driver has the power, the passenger has the manual, which isn't always terrible, but like they didn't even do that. I mean, the only thing that has power is the lumbar support, which is interesting that it's a 60K vehicle. And I mean, look, I like these buttons here, but like there's just a lot of like, makes you feel like I'm missing things, and I just don't like that, but I get it. There is higher trims, they kind of have to do that and take away buttons to, you know, save money. I guess that's how it works. I like the little badge here on the mats. It looks very nice. Let's hop in here though. That step makes it very easy to do that. Close the door, greeted with a very nice looking steering wheel. I don't mind that, like, you know, it's a leather wrapped steering wheel, but I don't mind that it has this material on just the sides. No problem at all there. That's completely normal. I love that it has physical controls for the cruise control and physical controls for the media controls and the gauge cluster controls. Very nice touch there. Speaking of the gauge cluster, this is a welcome addition right here. So it's fully digital, and it's got kind of different themes and different things that you can go through. So I can customize what's on the left, middle, and the right. I can have a couple of different things in there, and I really like that. So you can have like one screen for, you know, cruising, one screen for sport mode, and one screen for, say, off-road. So that's very nice to see. And then also, as I go through my drive modes here, so you can see if I switch back to normal, it'll kind of give you like a cool animation. And it's quite a quick and snappy change. It doesn't lag out or look weird. So yeah, I do like that. But normally I'm driving in sport. I tend to like to pick up a little bit more. I like the vents too. Like, I like the design of the vents and stuff. And I kind of don't mind the plastic here. I like the red TRD start-stop button, very cool. And then we come over here to our infotainment display. Look, it is on the small side, especially again for something that's 60 grand. Not everybody cares about screens, but like, it's like this massive bezel with like this little screen. The bigger one, if you pay a little bit more money with the premium, you'll get a much bigger screen, a much bigger screen, the power seats. There's things that come better if you do it. But again, this is very much just a hop in, start it, and drive it kind of thing. It's not complicated. Built-in navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and in terms of the settings, it's really nothing's hidden. There's really nothing too crazy in here, but it can receive over-the-air software updates, so that's good as well. Everything here is fine and dandy, but you know, I just wish I didn't have to spend even more money to get the things that should already be here once you touch the 60 grand mark. That's it. But in terms of the actual climate control, very happy with them. It's a single zone. Would have liked to see a dual zone, but single zone's fine for, you know, what I'm doing with it this week, and honestly, living with it, not that bad. I like the rugged controls though. I like that there's physical controls for all of it. We're not dependent on the infotainment display for it. So that's really, really good news. I got heated seats and heated steering, no ventilation, but that's not really important to me. It's kind of fine because in the winter, you really want, especially here in Canada, you want heated seats and you want heated steering. So I've got all that. A big spot for my wireless charging pad, and the phone doesn't move in it, which is very important. I do have some USB-C ports right there as well. A little bit of storage in here. I love this shifter. Feels mechanical. Feels like I'm shifting something big. And I am, because this thing is pretty big. And I like the TRD Sport, or just the TRD badge on that. And then we have the drive mode selector, and then the tow haul, and then I can also click in this button and then adjust, you know, from 2 high, 4 high, 4 low. You can adjust it like that. So it's very easy to use. Again, a bunch of blank buttons here for the higher trims that we don't get access to because we didn't pay enough money. Electronic parking brake, 2 cup holders, a little bit of storage in here, not too bad. And again, passenger, like the two-tone stuff. It's very nice to look at. The glove box is nice. There's also like a little, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little USB-C port right there as well, so you can kind of put something there and charge it. So like if I'm filming with my GoPro this week, for example, I'll probably plug it in there if I need additional power. So it's got good space for all of that stuff. For, you know, you could do a road trip in here, probably no issue. Up top, I also have the button to roll up and down the rear window, which is a really cool feature. And then I have my sunroof controls right there as well. So, and we also have a sunglass holder. Don't always get that in vehicles nowadays. It's nice to have a little sunglass holder. But overall, I like the interior. It's functional, it's comfortable, it works. It will get me through a winter, and those are the important things in Canada. But the price is rough. I mean, for $60,000, I just don't feel like there's enough here to really say, yes, go buy this. There is enough if you spend a little bit more. I think at that point, then it kind of gets a little bit more value. I just wish that, you know, there's certain things here like the automatic tailgate and stuff like that should have been included in this TRD Sport. If you can get it on a deal though, that's what I would do. But enough about that. Let me strap the GoPro to my forehead and show you how this thing drives. All right, so on the road now, 2025 Toyota 4Runner TRD Sport. So I have told you about, you know, things that I've liked, and I've explained what I think is missing, but how is it to actually drive? Well, I'll tell you, we're about the end of the week here right now as I'm filming this shot here, and it's been very good to drive with. I mean, it's just been a really solid platform to drive on. It kind of drives like a truck, if that makes sense. Of course it does make sense because it's on a truck platform. And, you know, it doesn't have as much power, or probably doesn't have as much attitude or drama as the outgoing V6 did, but I still don't feel like that's a bad thing. I think it still gets close to the horsepower numbers of the V6. We're going to slow down here a little bit. So the 4Runner TRD Sport has well over 200 horsepower, and it feels a little like this. So definitely like a lot of boost lag there, and a lot of, it took its time to get going, and I felt like the turbo kind of took a while to kick in. But again, I'm not really looking at this thing for its straight line speed. I'm more looking at it for its just overall capability. And in that sense, it's really decent. I mean, like, it can go on-road, it can go off-road, it's got adaptive cruise control, it's pretty comfortable to drive. I will say, like, the bigger potholes and stuff like that, I do tend to feel them a little more than I'd like, but other than that, I think it's okay. Like, it honestly depends where I'm driving. Like, I drive in Quebec, and there's, like, potholes, like, the size of craters. I mean, they're actual holes. So with that, like, I do feel like the vibration through the body, I feel like the SUV does feel it quite a bit. But that's one of those things, again, where if you spent a little bit more money and went up in trim to the premium version of it, you would get the Bilstein shocks and stuff, and you'd probably have a better experience. You probably wouldn't feel a lot of the big vibrations that go through the vehicle. In terms of body roll, it's definitely there, and it's definitely to be expected. This is a big, heavy, could be a 3-row SUV, so I get it. It's not going to be something that's super tucked in. It's not something you care about, really, because you're not taking this thing on the track. So handling is good in sport mode. I actually drive in sport mode most of the time. I like the engine and throttle, or the engine and braking response, and also like how the steering wheel tightens up as well. Just feels better in sport mode, to be honest. Feels like I'm controlling something a little bit more, and I just prefer the steering feel, and I don't feel like I'm using that much of a difference in terms of fuel economy. Obviously, if you have the budget to get a hybrid, that would be the one to go with, because it probably would be a lot more fuel efficient, especially if you're driving for fuel economy and stuff. But still, like I said, we can give it beams here again. It does a really good job at sticking to the road, even with its size, even in turns and stuff like that. So, like, it's just a great usable SUV overall. Like, the visibility is good too. I've got big mirrors. I can see perfectly out the back. Big mirrors on the other side. Windshield is good. You kind of get a good idea of how big your SUV is because you can see the hood. You can definitely see that hood scoop, but it does kind of help to see the hood line here. It's kind of got like a long hood, which is good. So you can always kind of figure out where you're placing your vehicle despite not having 360-degree camera or anything like that. Again, something in the price point I would have liked to see, but obviously I would have liked to see like things like the Bilsteins and stuff like that, but you know what? It is what it is. 61 grand. You guys can be the judge of that. You let me know if I'm crazy. Am I the one that's thinking like, that it's too expensive, or is it perfectly priced? I don't know. I feel like Toyota wants this one to be the one that, a lot of people buy, like the volume mover, but I feel like the premium would be it, because you just get so much more out of it. You just get so much more to the premium than you do just off of the TRD Sport. So hopefully you guys can find some deals on it, because that would be the ideal situation, is if a dealer is trying to make a good deal happen, or maybe you got a trade in, something like that, and you can kind of lower the price a bit, because at that point then even this becomes a good value, right? Because I don't want people to think that I don't like it because of the price. That's not it. I think it's a great truck. I think it's got great value in terms of like what you would get if the price was better. The pricing is just, I just don't know what Toyota's doing. It just doesn't make sense. If you want people to drive this thing, you got to make it so that they can actually afford it, because like it's got a ton of space, it drives really well, you can do the off-road long road trip to a campsite and then drive off-road on a trail road. It'll handle all that extremely well. Like, it's such a capable SUV, especially here in the Canadian winters. It's got really good, even though it's a part-time four-wheel drive system, it's still going to be really solid for like those big heavy snowfalls that we get. We seem to now just get big dumps, 30 centimeters, 40 centimeters, one shot. And so like this is key to that, like having a good amount of ground clearance, having that different all-wheel drive systems. This is going to be an absolute winter warrior. You can drive this all year round, and it'll do everything and anything you need it to do. It can even tow up to 6,000 pounds. So like, it's kind of got like the full thing. It's just who can afford it, I'm not sure. So that's about going to do it for my thoughts on the TRD Sport 4Runner. Let me know what you think. Do you think this spec is good enough, or do you think that, we should, or you should spend the extra money to get like the full picture, the full value out of the 4Runner package? I really wanted you to think. What do you think about the new redesign? What do you think about this 6th generation 4Runner? Do you hate it? Do you like it? Do you prefer Toyota stuck with the old one and just improved it? How do you feel about this new engine? You missing the V6, or are you okay with just this little 4-cylinder that we've got? So let me know all of your thoughts. I want to hear everything in the comments, and especially let me know if I'm crazy. Am I the only one complaining about this price point, or do you have kind of the same feelings? With that being said, make sure you like, subscribe if you want to see more Toyotas just like this on the channel. I'll see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.